Another example. What we saw there, sorry, I should explain, is that that was Maurice Bishop speaking at the beginning, who was the Prime Minister of Grenada. And so he's explaining basically what you saw following his speech, yeah? So I've given you his explanation of the development of zonal councils and parish worker councils and, and various different mass organizations, all right? And then you've seen the people themselves operating in these mass organizations, and how that is actually taking place among the people themselves are speaking to their involvement in those systems at the same time, okay? All right. Another example is the Ujamaa model, yeah, which was developed by Julius Nyerere in Tanganyika as a part of the Tanganyika African National Union, yeah. And so the Arusha Declaration basically is a document in which Baba Julius Nyerere kind of was outlining the basic principles and values of this Ujamaa economic model. As it says here, Tanzania declared independence in 1961. Julius Nyerere tried to delay the independence in anticipation of Kenya and Uganda doing the same. Now, one of the biggest problems, as I said before, is the fact that we have the maintenance of these colonial borders, yeah? And there's a lot of talk right about now in terms of the fact that that Africa is 54 divided nations that don't get along with each other. Very little is spoken of the fact that people like Baba Julius Nyerere were trying to develop an independence system in which that did not recognize the colonial borders. So he was actually willing to delay the independence of his own nation to wait for Kenya and Uganda to catch up so that they could develop a unified nation without those borders under one government. A similar thing was tried in West Africa with Kwame Nkrumah, Modibo Keita, and Sekou Touré, yeah, with the Ghana, Guinea, Mali Union. They had all got the independence, but they had signed an agreement and were trying to basically get rid of those borders and govern the nations under one political and economic system. Okay. Unfortunately, Odinga of Uganda and Kenyatta of Kenya were not really, in favor of the program. So what Julius Nyerere was trying to do was not accomplished. And this goes to show the difference between a revolutionary and a quote-unquote independence agenda. Okay? President Nyerere presents the Arusha Declaration in 1967. The declaration was published in Kiswahili, which was the official language of the nation. Yeah? So now, he's, just by doing that, he has relinquished reliance upon a European language, yeah, for the people's economic development. Okay? Basic principles of the declaration include, and I would encourage the reading of this declaration, it's very important, basing the development on land and people as opposed to money. So what he was trying to do is get rid of the reliance on money, yeah, because the people were impoverished, and the money, generally speaking, was foreign, yeah, it was governed by foreign means. So he wanted to develop an economy that was based upon the people's labor and their land. Yes, this was a controversial decision at the time. He goes through in the Arusha Declaration all of the reasons why, yeah, we cannot rely on money as a primary resource for our development. One, partly because it would make the kind of development that we're talking about would mean that we're gonna have to tax people heavily or look for massive loans from foreign, or I'm saying, all these kinds of different things. And so basically we have to develop a ground up economy, starting with the land and our labor. So just start there and build up, okay? Rejection of foreign loans and aid and investment, development of agricultural cooperative, what was called villagization. So the Ujamaa model basically was designed to create self-sufficient communities. So groups of families would develop self-sufficient communities in which they work the land, one, to feed themselves, and two, to contribute to the national crop basis so that the nation can feed itself. They would build their own houses, they would build their own schools together. They would build clinics and hospitals as a part of, that particular grouping of the nation. Okay? Free compulsory education, community governs social welfare. So again, villagization, the community takes care of the welfare of itself. And this is a quote from Julius Nyerere. He says, Ujamaa is familyhood and an attitude of the mind that is needed to ensure people care for each other's welfare. He said, in traditional African society, the people take care of the community and the community takes care of them without exploiting each other. Yeah. So he's explaining an Ubuntuite kind of philosophy. All right. Ujamaa was also translated as African socialism. I have a problem with the terminology, yeah, but I understand why Baba Julius Nyerere was defining it as such. But the reason, in short, the reason why I have a problem with terminology is because socialism again comes out of this Eurocentric kind of intellectual tradition, yeah. And so again, it's like we have to tie our own concepts to a European intellectual tradition for it to have value, okay. And I think that the Ujamaa can be translated well enough without us having to tie it to that tradition. If we have to translate into English at all, okay. And I also said to say that none of these things were perfect. Yeah. So, the Ujamaa model that I'm going into now, the model of participatory democracy in, Grenada, the cooperative model of the UNIA-ACL. Yeah. None of these things were perfect. Okay. Without flaws or contain things that we don't have to develop. Yeah, in 21st century, but they do contain many lessons, yeah, many roadmaps, yeah, for us to walk down. These people achieved many things that we are yet to replicate or build upon in today's world. So I'm not presenting these things as models of perfection, but models of good work, models of achievement that we need to know about and therefore develop as frameworks, as foundations for us to build upon. So a few achievements of the Ujamaa model under the leadership of Julius Nyerere. They were able to relocate thousands of families to approximately 2,500 self-sufficient Ujamaa villages, reduced infant mortality from 138 for every 1,000 births in 1965 to 110 for every 1,000 births in 1985. Rose life expectancy from 37 to 52 by 1985. Primary school attendance rose from 25% and 16% for girls in 1960 to 72% and 85% for girls in 1985. Adult literacy rose from 17% in 1960 to 63%, that should say, by 1985. Tanzania became a hub for African revolutionary freedom fighters in the midst of neocolonialism sweeping the continent, that should say. Yeah. So basically, whilst Patrice Lumumba was murdered in Congo, Osage Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in Ghana. Sekou Touré, yeah, died in mysterious circumstances. Samora Machel, again, died in mysterious circumstances. Basically, across the African continent, leaders, revolutionaries, whether in government or not, were being killed, assassinated or overthrown. Tanzania was a hub whereby they were educating people around ideals of Pan-Africanism and ways to develop African governments in ways that benefited African people. Yeah, so he was able to maintain some semblance of a liberation front around masses of destruction. Okay.